Having gained an insight into the wider aspects of social marketing, I would now like to focus in on the micro element. In particular, I would like to talk about a tool that should help you design or critique a social marketing campaign. That tool is known as the social marketing benchmark criteria. It was first introduced by Alan Andreasen in 2002 with 6 key elements. It has since been updated by the NSMC, formerly known as the National Social Marketing Centre, with 8 elements. It is these 8 elements that I'd like to focus on now. The first benchmark criteria is behaviour. Social marketing must aim to change people's actual behaviour. The intervention you're looking to introduce or critique must focus on specific behaviour and not just knowledge, attitudes or beliefs. Examples could be trying to get adults to partake in some form of moderately intensive aerobic activity like cycling or walking. Another example could be getting individuals to recycle waste into the appropriate bins, or to get drivers not to use their mobile phone whilst driving. There should be a clear, specific, measurable and time-bound behavioural goals which have been set. You need these sort of KPIs if you're going to get funding for the project. Here's another question for you. Which of these require a behaviour change? Click on the pause if you want to consider the question, because I'm just about to give you the answer. Well, this is a bit of a trick question because the answer is all of them. The point I want to make here is that what you learn in social marketing can also be applied to commercial marketing. So the Coca-Cola example is a commercial marketing application of a behaviour change. The next benchmark criteria. I've actually lumped 2 of the NSMC's benchmark criteria together, which are customer orientation and insight. This is because as a pragmatist, I don't see any point in making things more complicated than they really need to be. This element focuses on trying to get a full understanding of the lives, behaviour and issues that individuals face using a mix of data sources and research methods. The customer researcher should identify actionable insights, i.e. pieces of understanding that will help lead to an intervention development. It should go beyond interviews and focus groups and use ethnographic techniques as well, although I appreciate that the funding and timescales may not allow you to do this. This is where you need to balance the quality of the project with the time and financial limitations. Use a range of research analysis and combine data from different sources. Gain key stakeholders' understanding and feed it into the mix. It is not only about individuals you're looking to change, but also those stakeholders involved in the whole process. Segmentation, the next benchmark criteria. The human race is very complex and we are all different, so avoid a one-size-fits-all approach. Identify audience segments which have common characteristics, then tailor interventions appropriately. Remember, segments are prioritized and selected based on clear criteria such as size and readiness to change. Interventions in the mixed method are directly tailored to specific audience segments. Really think about your segmentation criteria. As an example, current behavior characteristics is a valid segmentation criteria, but they are not easy to use if you are going for a below-the-line strategy. As an example, it is extremely difficult to know which individuals apply sun cream when sunbathing than it is to target students who are at UK universities. The first there would require an above-the-line strategy. Now I'm just going to ask you another question. Which of these would be valid market segments for a campaign running in the United Kingdom? Click on pause if you want to consider the question, as I'm just about to give you the answer. The answer is 2, 3 and 4. Now, if the campaign was global, then 1 would be valid. But as it stands, it is the whole market and thus cannot be a segment of it. I would now like you to consider point 3. Although this is a segment using the behaviour category, just consider the practicalities of using this option. It is very difficult to target, and you would have to use an above-the-line strategy. These tend to be very costly. That's not to say it's not being done in social marketing campaigns. You just need to remember that if you're working for a smaller organisation looking to implement a campaign, they might not have the budget to do this sort of thing.